Hello, E-Man here, and welcome to another ultra amateur production on the Mark III Alpha BB Blaster. The topic being kind of a kicker to the rest of the series, just to show you basically the serious simplicity of this thing. What better way to show you than to just have all the parts laid out on the table? And as you can see here, there's really nothing to this thing, nothing to be afraid of, and we'll talk about, some material choices and maybe a tip or two on building a thing. It can actually be built using no power tools whatsoever. Although having said that, I will fully disclose that I did use a drill press on the tangent holes for the air inlet and the barrel. That's just me. It's not critical, not required. Remember, it is a BB blaster, so no matter how it turns out, it's going to work. And if it works, I'll bet you have fun with it. Every other hole, though, was drilled just like this. Just some hex shaft bits and a hex shaft screwdriver handle. Every other hole was drilled just like that. No other power tools in the whole thing. The irony here, of course, is that even though this whole thing can be built strictly by hand, no power tools whatsoever, although you can use a power tool if you so desire, the bit of irony is that you pretty much need a robust supply of air to make the thing work after it's built. And so there's a substantial piece of equipment that's required, although not to build it. I'm running a 20-gallon, and it's just fine for what I do around here, but I will say that if I had room for a bigger one, I'd have a bigger one. So you can see here we have the integral, cyclone, and hopper assembly here. A barrel, the two closure plates, the fill plug. The fill plug I did make a little bit bigger because, well, that's important with a BB blaster. Who wants to spend all day loading, right? And then the two cyclone baffles with the feed orifice, regulates the BBs, a blowgun, and of course we got to be able to hook it up to our air nice and quick and easy. So quick connect for that. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Everything is 1/4 inch on this, all the same size. This is a hard brake line. It's pretty easy to get at any auto parts store. I will say though that when you go look at it, you don't want any bent pieces. The shorter one, you can get them different lengths. The shorter ones are usually the straighter ones. And what I'll do before I buy it is just real simple. I'll just take and spin it in my fingers like this. And let it dangle, and if it doesn't wobble, there's a good chance you got a straight one. So check them before you buy them. I usually take a PVC tube with me to put them in so I can get them home without wrecking them my own self, and when I remember. Otherwise, just be real careful. There is an O-ring on the fill plug, so it seals. Just a few different size O-rings. The material is this is just PVC pipe. There are 2 layers here. They have been squeezed together and bonded. I had to cut a 1/2 inch sliver out of the 2 inch to get it squeezed down on 1.5 inches. And to do that, I just used a couple of 2 inch hose clamps. And to bond them, I just used super glue. I've been playing around with super glue and baking soda. You can see on the seam here, there's not much of the seam left after you get done cutting this thing. But the gap in that seam is super glue and baking soda, and then there's 2 places where I actually drilled into the top layer, not all the way through, just through the top skin, and plugged that with super glue and baking soda. And I'm really digging how that works, because even though I'm not in a hurry when I build these things, I'm impatient. And you might be saying, what? What do you mean, E-Man? How can you not be in a hurry and be impatient at the same time? Well, I work on these things intermittently, and when it's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I got an hour and a half to spend working on this thing. The last thing I want is to spend all my time waiting for glue to dry. And the nice thing about super glue and baking soda is you can put that in there, count to 10, and you can grab a file and start knocking the excess off immediately. And so this is one of two places. It kind of holds the thing together. So that works out nice. The closure plates are simply a cheap cutting board. As a matter of fact, I don't know, you look real close here, you can see it doesn't even have to be a new one. That one's been used pretty good. But it's waiting in line to be used for something. I get quite a bit of mileage out of these things. And when you see cheap cutting boards like that, you know, I'll usually buy a short stack of 3 or 4. Because you don't run into them just every day since COVID for some reason. For sale sign, they're getting more expensive, but you can see I get a lot of mileage out of those. I've been hacking on that one for a while, and that's all the baffle plates are. It's just for sale sign. They're real thin, really tough, not bad to work with. And that's about it. Other than that, you might have to buy a couple of things. This is my blowgun of choice for BB blasters and BB machine guns for obvious reasons. They work real nice. I'm going to disassemble this one to make sure it's clean. There could be crap in there, you know, make sure that it's all good and working and gonna work for a long time. I'll put a little bit of silicone lube on there to keep the O-rings fresh, and it should run a good long time. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to show you or tell you? I reckon that's about it. These are so simple, you can build them in batches if you want to. That not really much to them. So at any rate, I hope that kind of gives you an idea. Like, don't be afraid of this thing. It's pretty simple. Doesn't take anything special to build it, although it does. I'm running a 20-gallon, and you know, it works good for what I do around here. But if you start getting smaller than that, you know, into single-digit, you know, 2-gallon hot dog compressors, you're probably just going to aggravate yourself. So make sure you have access to good air, and then go for it. Why not? What's holding you back? All right. So thanks for watching. See ya.